finish this before lunch. We will be going to the last topic before lunch. It's regarding the minimum emission standards update, and it will be given by Eskom rep, and that's Ms. Tshilidzi Vilane. If you can just welcome her, clapping the hands for her to come and be there.
Good afternoon. As I've been introduced, my name is Tshilidzi Vilane. I will be talking on behalf of Eskom. I'm representing Eskom. Basically, I will be doing this presentation on behalf of my manager, Brian McCott. He did not make it to the conference this year. I also want to acknowledge majority of my Eskom colleagues who are in the room. So I'm on this presentation not alone. I have a backup. Okay, I will be taking you through the update regarding Eskom minimum emission standards. I will also talk a little bit more on what Eskom is doing, apart from the Eskom minimum emission decision in regarding to reducing our emissions. This slide here is showing you the background of the journey that Eskom undertook since the inception of the minimum emission standards. Eskom has done a lot of engagements with the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment regarding this process. And the latest, we are sitting with the minimum emission standard exemption decision, which was issued on the 31st of March this year. Going to my point to say, other than the postponement applications that Eskom has been doing, and now we are sitting with the exemption application decision, Eskom is also doing a lot of work to reduce its emissions. So it's not like as a utility, we're only relying on the administrative process for us to comply. There is a lot of investment that Eskom is doing, even financially, to reduce the emissions. The slide now that is showing you most of the completed and some still in progress retrofits to our plant with regard to the abatement technologies and the emission reduction projects. The priority or the first focus was on reducing particulate matter. We have also done work with regard to the NOx emissions. We have Medupi and Kusile power stations, which have low NOx burners. Low NOx burner technology was also installed at Camden Power Station. Kendal and Matimba, they have low NOx boilers by design. And all this work, we have seen a significant reduction in emission, as you can see on the trend. I continue to talk about what Eskom is doing in terms of reducing our emissions. Like I indicated, the utility invests also financially in this process. We have already spent over 5 billion rands in our abatement technology upgrades or projects. There is an additional 15.6 billion rands allocated to complete some of the outstanding projects that we are still busy with. And we expect the reduction of emissions projected for the particulate emissions 77%, and all this is by 2030. For the NOx, as I indicated, some stations are yet to implement the low NOx banners, the likes of Litabo, Majuba, and Tutuka. We expect 50% reduction. With regard to the SO2 emissions, most of you know Kusile have flue gas desulfurization technology already in place. Eskom is also a work in progress installing FGD at Midubi Power Station. So those are the two stations which Eskom has committed to install FGD. I think it has been mentioned a lot during the conference how expensive FGD technology is. But that is what Eskom is doing. We are also looking at affordable technology at Majuba Power Station with regard to reducing SO2 emissions. Also, Eskom has been implementing offset projects. Yesterday, there was good discussion around offset projects. We have already completed 5.5 thousand households around the Mpumalanga area. We're still in progress to complete 30,500 houses by 2030. And with the exemption, MES exemption decision issued to us, another requirement is for us to extend these offset projects to 96,000 houses. Eskom is working, doing assessment and investigation to comply to that. This slide is now showing you the overview or the summary of the decision which was issued to Eskom by the Minister of DFFE. It is in two folds. So first, it was received last year in May 2025. The first fold of it is the suspension decision, which talked to the Eskom stations, which are due to be shut down by 2030. The requirement for those was for Eskom to submit the shutdowns, repurposing and repowering plans. That was done by the stipulated date, which was May this year. Eskom is awaiting feedback from DFFE regarding those plans. The second fold of the decision was for the Eskom stations, which are to continue to operate post-2030. The recommendation from the Eskom minimum emission standards appeal decision issued last year by the minister was advising Eskom to apply for exemption based on the section of NEMA, section 59, for those stations. And that's what we did. Exemption application was submitted last year, December, and the Minister of DFFE issued Eskom with a decision regarding the exemption applications this year by 31 March 2025. And in summary, the exemption application decision entails the stack emission limits, which Eskom provided alternative limits that we can comply with until we finish all our projects. Conditions relating to the health interventions, conditions relating to the socio-economic interventions, air quality, transparency and governance, and other general conditions that support compliance. Eskom is in continuous engagement with regard to implementation of most of the actions and conditions so that we are aligned with the department. Some of the things are not straightforward, but we continue to engage with all the relevant parties, DFFE, and other relevant government departments. This slide is showing you the stake emission limits that I spoke about, which were issued as part of the decision. The limits, we understand them to be applicable as soon as we receive the decision, and that was 1st of April 2025. Some of our stations struggled to comply with the limits immediately. We have, however, recently noticed improvement as the units are stabilized, and there is improvement in complying. Also, based on the decision issued, we needed to receive revised AELs to comply with, and those AELs also incorporate conditions from the decision issued by the minister. We have received revised licenses for Majuba, Tutuka, Matla, and Duba so far. Licenses for Kendal, Midupi, and Matimba are still in process with the licensing authority. These are the health intervention actions that Eskom is busy with in order to comply with what is stipulated on our decision. I won't read one by one, but for example, we were required to appoint an environmental health specialist by that date there. Eskom has managed to do the appointments. And other actions relating to the health interventions, they are linked to the contract that we have placed with the health specialist. So we believe and confident that we will meet these requirements. The other actions talk to the socio-economic interventions on the decision, and mostly being the offset project. The minister did put emphasis on Eskom extending the offset projects like I indicated earlier on. Eskom is working hard to establish the additional offset projects. We also have actions to do waste collection interventions for the illegal waste dumping. So that word, the illegal mining dumping, was an error. It's illegal waste dumping that Eskom will be doing. So Eskom is engaging with the local municipalities on how to go about that. We are required also to submit plans with regard to our ash dams, rehabilitation plans, as well as the fugitive emission monitoring plans. That one is what we had already in place. We just needed to put things together and submit as required. We have actions that talks to the equality, transparency, and governance. I think previous discussion touched a lot on monitoring. So on our exemption decision, we are required also to submit ambient monitoring plans per each power station. Our colleagues from Eskom Research and Technologies are mainly involved with these actions, and they are helping us to do that. I think we are almost due to submit the plans to the department. We are required to install additional ambient air monitoring stations. Contracts are being placed to do that. And additional one for additional key sensitive receptors. We also have a requirement to report our data. The first one being real-time data for our ambient air quality data. Eskom is able to meet that already through, again, our Eskom Research Technology. We are able to submit our real-time data ambient to SACIS. We are also achieving submission of the stake emission 10-minute weekly data to DFFE on the shared folder that the department has shared with Eskom. The one that we still work in progress is the submission of the real-time data for the stake emission. Eskom system, it currently was not designed for that. Eskom require additional time and cost to achieve that. And we are working hard, engineering is helping us to come with an alternative solution so that we can submit our stake emission on real-time data. We have conditions that support compliance. We needed to do expansive plan-specific cost-benefit analysis for the Midupi FGD installation. The previous one that Eskom did as part of the exemption application, it was challenged not to be comprehensive. We missed the health impacts part of it and other costs associated with the FGD operation. So Eskom is busy with that work. We are developing the contract to do that work. There is a proposal for Eskom to look at the inclusion of the SO2 price in the dispatch prioritization strategy, the proposal for pollutant concentration levels, and the flexibilization studies. These actions talk to Eskom looking at how we operate our plants, how we can control the load in relation to minimizing emissions. Are we able to bring the load down? And how does that help in concentration of emissions? And is the plant still stable without tripping the units and causing problems? So our colleagues from Eskom Generation are assessing this, and studies will be submitted to the department once finalized. I also want to talk about the last ones that talk to renewable energy. Our colleagues from Eskom Transmission Company of South Africa are the ones who are driving these actions that relate to in allowing the feeding of the renewable energy to the grid and so forth. And we are in continuous engagement with our colleagues to give progress, and once we are ready, we will submit the plans and progress to the department. This brings me to my last slide, where in conclusion we're saying the Eskom minimum emission standard exemption decision places a lot of difficult and complex conditions on Eskom. However, Eskom is aiming to comply to all of them. We are in continuous engagement with the relevant parties. The achievements so far, based on the actions on the decision, Eskom has already appointed the environmental health specialists within 60 days, initiated outreach to the district, the health authorities. We have developed initial health awareness programs as required. We are already reporting on the 10-minute weekly stack data to DFFE. We are revising our fugitive emission plans. We have established a service provider that will do Medupi FGD cost-benefit analysis. And lastly, we are busy with the investigation and assessment to expand the offset project to 96,000 households. In conclusion, Eskom is committed to managing its air quality impact in a responsible manner, which ensures energy security for the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tshilidzi, for the great presentation. Just want to get one or two questions from the floor. One or two questions from the floor. Going, it's lunchtime, people are hungry already. So Tshilidzi, thank you so much, and I think they did understand your presentation, and we really appreciate for that, and thank you so much. You can clap hands for her. Just one announcement for those who will leave early tomorrow.